right. Welcome, guys. Welcome to our team call. So as a quick hello to everybody. Hello, Sheila, my dear, Daniel, David, Emma, Gabor, Janet. Can't wait to see my Swedish friends very soon, guys. I cannot wait to come to Sweden this week. I am so excited, not just for coming, I'm excited to see what's going to happen afterwards. Annika, hello, Annika. I'm looking forward to giving you a huge hug. Attila, awesome. Pernilla, I don't want to leave anybody out. CD, how you doing, girl? Torkel and Anna, love you guys. Awesome. So, guys, we're gonna literally rock and roll and get into it. I want to share just a couple of announcements with you guys before I get into the call for this week. And because on this week, one of the things that I really wanted to focus on is driving retention. How do you build a team that creates a strong culture, strong retention? Because one of the things that my mentor always said is that when you're building a team, it's like having a bucket. He goes, you got to keep putting new people into the bucket, right? But everybody has a hole in the bucket. How big the hole in the bucket is also determined by several factors. You as a leader, right? Also the company, of course, that makes an impact as well. And the culture. I'm going to go deep into that in terms of how do you ensure that that hole in the bucket is as small as possibly can be. You can never close the hole in the bucket, by the way, because there's always going to be some people that are going to drop out no matter what. Okay. Whether it's, mismanaged expectations, we'll talk about, what are the key reasons why people give up. So you can manage some of those things, but there are also some things that you cannot manage. But like I said at the beginning, I want to share a couple of announcements. If you guys have not noticed, Booster is back in stock. HydroFX is back in stock. Digestix is already in stock. We've got a bunch of products that are back in stock, guys. Hang on. I have a request for a translator. Let me do that. So if you need translation in Hungarian, Chongi is the translator. And we'll get straight into it. Already done, Chongi. Awesome. So, man, now it means I got to talk a little bit slower. I usually have one speed and it's pretty fast. And I know when I have translators, I got to go out of my way to slow it down. And I feel like it's like, driving with my hands tied behind my back. But I'll do my best to slow it down. Okay. So a lot of the nutritional products are back in stock. So go click on your shop and have a look at what's in stock so you can place your orders. Additionally, there's a lot of skincare that is back in stock as well, guys. So click on your shop. I'm waiting for the company to send out an email, but one thing that I learned is do focus on what you can control, not what you cannot control. So that's why I'm sharing this with you guys on the call. There's a bunch of products that are back in stock. Let your team know. Check what's back in stock as well. I know that we've got a lot of people that have been waiting for a few different things, so we can take advantage of that. So that's one thing. The second thing is, if you've missed it, okay, I'm going to highlight it to everybody because the escapes for Romania are live. Now, I want to basically go through this a little bit to clarify some things, okay, because I did have some questions from people and I just wanted to make sure that we address it. There's two escapes. There's a mini escape and there's the, hang on, I'm just going to share this on my screen as well so you guys are also seeing it. This is the mini escape, and there's also Dracula's Escape, okay, which is the other one, which is, I think it's a really cool name. Dracula's Escape is the longer one. The mini escape is essentially over the weekend, because some people were saying to me, I can't book this escape. It's during the same weekend as the event. We know this mini escape is literally at the same hotel where the event's going to take place. So that way it's super easy for you guys. Check into the hotel, your accommodation is at the same venue, it's at the Grand Bucharest Hotel. You got breakfast every day, one less thing to think about, and a VIP experience at the Termas Spa. This, by the way, guys, go onto Google and search Google Images on Termas Spa. Now, we did not include just the entrance to the spa, so you know. It's a VIP customized experience for Club Secret members. You know, one of the things that we do pride ourselves on is creating something unique. And I want to keep repeating that, because the thing is that you got to be able to offer people something that they cannot find anywhere else. That's one of the things that creates what we call the stickiness. Okay. If you guys are focusing on things like price all the time, then price becomes the focus for people. I never focus on price. I focus on value. For example, you can go to La Terma website, get an entrance to the spa. You can, of course you can. But here's what you're not going to get. Hanging out with our community, having a VIP lunch during it, having a special section just for our members. And here's the result of that. Everybody that's going to be going at La Terma is going to be looking at us going, who are these guys? I want to have fun with them. That's what we do everywhere we go. If you guys were in Madrid, by the way, in Madrid, where we had the rooftop bar and we brought the flamenco dancers to the rooftop bar, that's never been done before. Normally, you got to go to special theaters to see that. As a result, that particular bar now wants to do it ongoing because we gave them the idea. We showed them something that they said it's not possible. We showed them that through our club, it does become possible. Okay. And we're going to keep raising the bar. As we get bigger, stronger, we're going to keep raising the bar. Hang on a second. Is the translation okay, guys? I'm just getting some messages here. Okay. Translation's good? Yes? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. So the mini escape is literally over the weekend and includes the Fun Friday activity, right? The other one, which I'm going to put here, okay, Count Dracula's Escape. This one is 6 days, 5 nights. Again, it's at the same hotel, but it has a full day VIP tour at Dracula's castle, a couple of different castles from what I understand, with a lunch that is, it's on the palace grounds. Again, they don't do that. It's not something available to the public. It is something that has been customized. So the cost for this is less than 600 euros per person. So essentially, guys, it comes to like 100 euros per person per night, 115 euros per person per night for your accommodation, for your breakfast, for the VIP tour, the lunch, the transportation. We're also doing transportation to La Terma, by the way, because it's 40 minutes outside of Bucharest. So we're going to have our own transportation that will take us there and bring us back. Okay. Again, all taken care of. This is live. There are no unlimited rooms. We've got a handful of rooms. So I do believe they're going to sell out. We will give people the option as well to book the La Terma experience, the Fun Friday, separately. Okay. But for those of you guys that are part of this escape, obviously this is going to be included for you guys. So those are the couple of announcements that I wanted to share. Before I move on to our topic for the week, if you guys, by the way, because I'm always happy to serve, if you guys have any topics that you believe would be useful for our Sunday night course, things that you believe that you want to get trained on, drop me a message. Drop me a message either on Messenger. If you have my WhatsApp, you can send me a private message on here. I'll check it out later. But I'm always happy to incorporate topics that you guys want to get trained on, because this is for you guys, okay? So I want to give you guys as much value as possible. So let's go into driving retention, okay? So going back in terms of what we're sharing earlier, you have a bucket and everybody has a hole in the bucket, right? One of the things my mentor said to me is that, usually if there's a big hole in the bucket, it also has a lot to do with the leadership of that particular team. And this is one of the reasons that, we do Sunday course every single week. There's a bunch of you guys that that I have regular coaching calls with you guys. There's also podcasts that we release every single week. The podcast is free for all of you guys to plug into. There's the Inner Circle by Secret that you can become a member of. So you can tune in, listening to audios every single week. One thing my mentor said to me, an audio a day keeps the idiot away. Everybody has an idiot inside their head that is trying to hold them back from their dream. Everybody has two voices. It's like we got a little angel and a little devil on each side, right? We got the little angel that is literally going as, come on, you can do it. You've got this. Make another phone call. Do another presentation. You could be the next person on the stage. And everybody's got another idiot, okay, an idiot on the other side. That is the one that's going, who's going to pick up your call now? Sunday night, people are resting. You're thinking about calling people in the morning, and that idiot is always trying to talk you out of it. Like, oh, what if this doesn't work? What if you're wasting your time? Unfortunately, sometimes this idiot has friends as well. Okay? He has friends because he may not just be a virtual idiot. He might be someone that is actually in your life that may be holding you back, not because they want to harm you, but because they think they want to protect you. Okay, we all have dream stealers in our life. We all have people in our life that are telling us things like, oh, you got to be careful, just, exercise some caution. And the thing that I've learned, guys, is by doing this for the last 15 years, is if someone doesn't have what you want, if you buy their opinion, you buy their lifestyle. If someone doesn't have what you want, if you buy their opinion, you buy their lifestyle. Okay. So the thing is, we're going to sit there and figure out ways how we can strengthen the voice on one side, the voice that's going to build us up. And by plugging in to this course, to audios, to empowering videos, personal development on a daily basis, we're strengthening the right voice and we're distracting the wrong voice. Okay. Now, let's take it a step further. This comes down to everybody that's on the call right now, but now I'm going to talk to people that also have a team. Now, some of you are thinking, I don't have a team yet, so maybe this is not relevant to me. It is relevant to you. You're the number one person on your team. You're the number one person on your team. So if you want to have a strong retention rate, here's the first key, and I want you to write this down. Retention is recruiting people to your team. Retention is recruiting people to your team. That means including yourself. You got to keep selling yourself on the dream, guys. You got to keep recruiting your team. So a lot of people, and I want to show this to you guys, okay? Let me see, get this up on the screen. Okay. Let me know you guys can see this, right? Right? So one thing that my mentor always told me, okay, is, hang on, come back. The first slide, which you can see here, is literally someone joins Secret, right? Someone joins Secret at the beginning, everybody's excited. It's the dream. I can create the freedom. I want to be able to walk the stage. And they got this really amazing enthusiasm. And it's a mindset of possibilities. Now, this here, it could last 1 day, 2 days, a week, a month. Everybody has a different kind of energy, okay? Some people are only excited for the first 24 hours, right? How you extend that excitement comes down to how you're keeping them productive through their life cycle in Secret. So for example, when they first get started, do you sit down and spend one-on-one time with them to identify what are their needs? What do they want to gain from Secret? Doing a proper fast start. Like, one of the questions that I love to ask people when I get them started is, if anything was possible, and if we could fast forward time 12 months from now, and we were celebrating something that you were able to accomplish in Secret, number one, where would we celebrate it at? So I'm going into visualization now. What country would we be in to celebrate this? Tell me some of your countries. If a year from now you achieved a big goal in Secret, number one, what would be the goal? And number two, what country would we be in to celebrate that big achievement? Write it on the chat. I want to hear from you guys. What's a goal you want to celebrate a year from now? And where do you want to celebrate it at? Ireland. Awesome, Sheila. What do you want to celebrate in Ireland? Jamaica. Italy. Love Italy. Italy is my favorite country. 25 squared. Amazing. South Africa. Yeah, I want to come to South Africa with you, Sandy. I've never been to South Africa. The airport doesn't count. Spain. Guinea. Wow. Sweden. Janet, come on. You got to venture out a little bit. Spain. $50 squared to celebrate in South Africa, for sure. 250 squared in Dubai. Chongi, you do 250 squared in the next 12 months. I will be in Dubai with you, my friend, and the expenses will be on me. Okay, and that's recorded as well. All right, cool. So now I'm gonna take it a step further. Okay, so literally, they have their goal. Okay, so let's say they go, I want to be 50 squared a year from now, and I'm going to be in South Africa in order to celebrate it. I'm like, great, where in South Africa? Let's say they go in Cape Town. Amazing. Where are we staying? What are we drinking? Okay. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I want them to have a very clear picture of why they're doing this. Now, who's coming with you? Who's going to be celebrating with you in this trip? Because all of these guys is very, very key, because by identifying essentially what really drives them, asking them who's going to be with them also lets you know who are their cheerleaders, who do they love the most, okay? And the ones that they love the most, you want to show them first, for sure. This is going to help you to basically tap into their list as well, okay? So almost create a very clear picture of a year from now, where they're at. And I also like to ask them a question, just go, how are you feeling right now with that? You're in South Africa, you're in Mexico, you're drinking your pina coladas, you've achieved this goal. How are you feeling with that? Okay, some of them are like, I'm grateful, I'm relieved, I'm happy, I'm proud, I'm in gratitude. This picture is something that I want to keep triggering along their journey. Okay, this picture is something that I want to keep triggering along their journey. Guys, you got to keep the vision clear. When the vision is not clear, people disappear. When the vision is not clear, people disappear. Okay, so you got to keep a very clear vision in terms of where they're going, and you got to keep reminding them of that vision. That's going to help you in terms of like creating the plan of how they're going to get there as well. Okay, so number one, you got to be able to help them to have a clear vision. You got to be able to create a game plan in terms of getting there. The other thing is that as you're going through these, you're literally taking them every step of the way. And your goal is, write this down, BAM fam. BAM fam. BAM FAM. Book a meeting from a meeting. One more time. Book a meeting from a meeting. What does that mean? Is every time I'm speaking to my team member, before I'm getting off the phone, I have a very clear action plan. When are we speaking next? When are we doing the next presentation? What are we plugging into? Every time. Okay? If you don't put this in place, then it becomes like, okay, Janet, yeah, I'm here to support you. Call me when you're ready. Call me when you have someone. And some people are literally telling this to their team. Sorry to pick on Janet. She's just right there right now. I know Janet's very systems orientated. But let's say, they're literally, and they sit there and they wait by the phone and then they go, my team is not doing anything. My team is not calling me. Your team needs to be led. Yes, the first level of leadership is always self-leadership. But a lot of people are not programmed to lead yet. They need to be led. Every good leader knows when to become a good follower first. In order for them to duplicate leadership, you need to lead them. Okay? Muzaffar always says, if you don't lead your people will leave you. You got to lead your team. You got to have an action step. Okay, let's say David tells me, hey, look, I want to do 25 squared. And I want to celebrate it in Jamaica, for example, or in Dubai with Chongi and Imola. And here's what I'm willing to do. And I go, great, David, we've got the action plan for the week. So tomorrow we're doing X, Y, Z. Or when can we meet in the next 24 hours to put a game plan in place? Or David, in the next 24 hours, my availability is, I give them my availability in the next 24 hours. Okay. I like to work up to 48 hours in advance when I'm working with new people. I don't tell them, hey, next week, there's a presentation. If we're going back to this section here, okay, this excitement for a lot of people is short-lived, guys. You know why? Because they've got these little voices here, and the further they are from the fire, the louder the idiot becomes. When they're plugged into the fire, this idiot starts to shut up, because around the fire, the dream is kept alive. If you're not doing live presentations, this is what I want to highlight to you guys. I know we got a lot of countries on this call. Start doing live presentations. That's your fire. We got this weekly calls every single Sunday because I want to create a hub for all of Europe to plug into. But guys, it's not the same as, us being in a cool room together, hanging out, presentation. Then there's like the meeting after the meeting, where we're going to go out to dinner. We're going to have a few drinks. We're going to build a culture. We're going to build a bond. It's not just the meeting, it's what happens before the meeting and after the meeting. So most people will start in and they'll be really, really, really excited. And then there comes a point where essentially, if you don't keep them around the fire, if you don't keep them in production, and I'm going to give you a 4-step formula to driving retention, okay, then what happens? The excitement starts to wear out. They stop returning your calls. They start to disappear, and they go from becoming an agent to becoming a customer. So I'll tell you, the one thing that I do love about Secret is that the products are so good that I got a bunch of people that even though they stopped doing the business, they never stop ordering the products. It's amazing, okay, from that perspective. However, we want to do what it takes to get them to this phase here. When you're recruiting people with retention in mind, you're doing what it takes to keep them on a straight line. You gotta do what it takes to keep them on a straight line. How do you keep them on a straight line? With what we said earlier, having a clear vision, number one. Bam, fam. Every time you're speaking to them, you've always got an action step. This is the next team call you got to plug into. This is the next training event you booked. If you guys are in Sweden, you haven't got your ticket for the training next Saturday we're doing in Stockholm, get your ticket. If I were you and I'm in Sweden, I would literally be leveraging over the next 6 days that we've got to show as many people as possible, and you're recruiting for the training. I love to recruit for a training. Okay, if there's a training coming up, I don't sit there to recruit to get them to a training. I'm recruiting for the training. That means I'm recruiting someone so we can do presentations together, so they can also bring people to the training with them. I want to create duplication before the training. Okay, so every single time I have a call with them, every single time I'm meeting face to face with them, I'm giving them an action step. This also comes down to how you mentor people, guys. My favorite way when I'm mentoring people is always guiding them to the next tool they're going to listen to. You know, the reason we started a podcast 4 years ago is because I realized there's so many things that I wanted to cover with the team. There's just not enough hours in the day, but it's very easy for me to go and point towards an episode and go, hey, we need to work on the closing a little bit. Listen to the podcast episode on overcoming objections, and let's meet together before the next presentation. They just spend half an hour sharpening the axe, sharpening the mindset. So when they come before the presentation, we do a little bit of role play and they're ready to go and close even better. Instead of me spending half an hour teaching them on how to close. You know, same thing, mastering the invitation. Hey, before we get together for a call and blitz, right? Have a listen to this episode on mastering the invitation, and then we'll get together. And the mastering the invitation, the episode talks about why it's important to invite with curiosity, why it's important not to say too much. What am I doing? I'm using systems, tools, and training to save myself time, energy, and frustration. That goes for you guys too. The second thing is also keeping people around the fire, keeping them hot. So you're taking them through this pipeline, and by keeping them on the course, on the audios, on the trainings, on the secret inner circle, there comes a point, this line in the middle is the defining moment where they decide to really do this. And usually this line is at a critical event. And when I say critical event, it might be an event that is a big event that they're coming to, an event in their life, a presentation that they did, and something made them go, I'm going to do this. And then they go from becoming an agent to following the path and becoming a leader. Okay, now there's 4 steps. I'm going to give you guys these 4 steps on how to really drive retention through this. Okay, Write this down. PERC. PERC. P stands for production. You got to keep them in production mode. Okay. You got to keep them in presenting mode. You got to keep them in inviting mode, right? A lot of people sometimes get sidetracked going, okay, let me read all about the products. Oh, let me get to know the booking engine. Guys, the only thing that's going to get people paid is IPA, income producing activities. What are the income producing activities in our business? Invitations, presentations, getting people started, promoting for events. Anything outside of that is just passing time, right? So your job is to guide them to avoid all these landmines of distraction, okay? So that way you can keep them focused on the goals and on the vision. So when I'm sitting down, I'm getting together and, I'm getting together with Gabor or Tamas, for example. What am I doing with them? I'm doing these income producing activities with them. I want to be doing invitations with them. If we don't have any guests to show right now, I'm doing inviting with them. And I'm picking up the phone. I'm inviting as much as what they are as well, even more because I want to raise the bar and lead as an example. So that way, you're keeping them in production. The other reason that you want to keep people in production is because my good friend Fraser always used to say, the more you think, the more you doubt. The more you doubt, the less you do. And the less you do, the less results you get. And therefore, the more doubt is created. It's like a vicious circle. Get so busy, you don't have time to think. That's why you got to keep people in production. Don't give them a chance to slow down, because an object in motion stays in motion. I literally found this the other day and I couldn't believe it. This here, I literally wrote down, these are all the personals that I enrolled in my first 12 months in network marketing. I was going through it and some of them were like, oh my God, I forgot about that person. Who is that? I don't remember. The ones I don't remember, usually the ones that quit. Okay. I was so busy in production, I forgot the ones that gave up on their dreams, but I'll tell you the ones that I never remember, the ones that never gave up on their dreams. I never forget them. Okay. In my first, I want to say in my first 2 months in network marketing, I enrolled 20 people. 15 people essentially in my first month. Why am I saying this to you? I was so busy in personal production, I didn't have time to think. I didn't have time for the doubt to creep in. I was too busy producing. So that's number one, keep people in production. Number two, engagement. Keep people engaged. For example, these calls, you're keeping them around the campfire, guys. Okay. The company makes a new promotion. Give your team a call. Keep dripping on them with all the exciting things. There's so many things happening with Secret right now. Sometimes I barely have time to keep up. So when you're sharing this with your team, and a lot of people make the mistake of, okay, I just, sent a voice message to all my team, or I posted something on the Facebook group. That's not promoting. You got to have conversations. So if I notice that sometimes people have been a little bit quiet, I pick up the phone and go, hey, hey, Sam, it's been a while. How's it going? Oh, it's been good. It's been busy. And I hear the excuses sometimes pop up. And I go, well, look, I just wanted to keep you in the loop. You know, we got certain products back in stock. Freedom Academy is literally around the corner. Have you got your ticket yet? Let me tell you about Jesse. What am I doing? I'm keeping them engaged because I'm literally keeping the information of secret top of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. If you don't stay in contact with your team at least once a week, they start to slowly disappear, guys. You got to keep them engaged by keep dripping on them. Okay, keep giving them little information, keep keeping them in the loop, keep telling them stories. Hey, you're not going to believe what's happened. We got this amazing guy, you know, in the team. You see it literally just walked the stage. There's 25 squared in Madrid, went out, took massive action, and just finished the month as 50 squared. This guy just finished an escape with 60 people in Dubai, and now he's getting ready to do another escape. Why? Because he just literally made a decision. How's things with you? I'm sharing a story. I'm bringing you back to them. Okay. So number one, production. Number two, engagement. Okay. Number three, recognition. Recognize what you want to duplicate. You got to keep recognizing people. Now, don't just recognize people for results, but also recognize people for activity, for doing the right activity. And I'm not just saying, hey, congratulations to Tom. He made one invitation tonight. Okay. I want, like, speaking of recognition, you know what I want to do? I want to do a big shout out to Chongi and Imola and David, who literally picked up, left their country, and have moved to Cyprus. And now they're my neighbors in Cyprus. Why? Because they're young and they want to chase their dreams. They're literally, and they're doing presentations left, right, and center. You know, today they were doing presentations with people that are cold market, that they're meeting on Instagram, they're meeting on Facebook, they're meeting on TikTok. You know, Mola signed up a couple of people she met literally through TikTok. I want to celebrate these people. Why? Because they're doing what it takes. Don't just celebrate the big results, celebrate the winning activity, because the winning activity over time will create the big results. Recognition is everything, guys. Go through your team, get to know the people on your team. We're halfway through the month right now. Look in your team, who's close to 5-5. Look in your team, who's 10 squared. Okay, and literally give them a call and go, hey, look, I can tell that literally last month you missed the 10 squared by a couple of sales. Let's work together because I don't want you to miss it this month. Okay, don't just focus on your goals, focus on your team goals. Now, side note, if you want it for them more than they want it for themselves, it's going to be pushing a rock uphill. One thing you guys probably heard me say a million times, don't push a rock uphill, leverage, leverage, go and flow uphill, okay? How do you flow uphill? You stay around the fresh energy. If someone's giving you excuses every single time, you're noticing that they're literally sucking energy away from you, try to keep them around the campfire, but be selective where you invest your energy, because if you're constantly spending your energy, you're going to run out of energy. Recognize what you want to duplicate. And the last one is C, which stands for culture. What is the culture in your team? What does that mean? If people don't have results, are they happy to come to your presentations anyway? People want to spend time with people that celebrate them and not just tolerate them. If you're making people feel that they're not good enough because they're not taking the right action, you know what they're going to do? They're going to give up. Some people need to borrow your belief in them before they build enough belief in themselves for them to go out and do this. That's what a good leader does. A good leader shines a light inside someone's potential and helps them to see their own potential so they can step into their greatness. That's what a leader does. A good leader shows the way, by giving this belief to people and at the same time taking the right activity in order to show them what's possible. Sometimes you got to take people by the hand a little bit, guys, but I'll tell you what, when people care about you because they realize you care about them, it's not just a team, it becomes a family. I know there's a bunch of people on this call right now that for me, they're not just teammates, they become part of my family right now. And that stickiness is so key, right? And one of the ways that you create that is, yes, number one, creating a culture of activity, of engagement, of production, but also keeping it fun, right? People are attracted to fun. A lot of people are already doing a job that they don't even like. They don't want to be sitting there and be felt like what they're doing is another job. They want to feel like what they're doing is giving more fun into their life. And that's what's going to draw them more like a magnet towards it. So what kind of culture are you creating in your team? Are you creating the kind of culture that makes people feel loved, appreciated, no matter where they're at right now in their business? Or do they feel like, oh my God, I don't have any guests. I'm not going to go to the presentation because I'm going to get told off for not bringing guests. Or I'm not going to, if every single time that, my mentor is calling my telephone, I don't want to answer it. Now, having said that, there is a magic thing called accountability. Okay. And accountability, one thing that my mentor always said to me, accountability is the breakfast of champions. Now, some people don't like to be held accountable. You know why? Because some people want to build this business as any time. They say that if you want to build this business, you build this business in 3 different ways. Okay, full-time, part-time, anytime. Full-time is minimum 5 presentations a day. Part-time is at least 1 presentation a day. A lot of people build this anytime. Oh, I've got a little bit of time. Let me do a presentation. And then it's like when they think about it, then it becomes something that they do. And anytime is not going to get you the results. You need to be consistent, right? So whatever that consistency is, ask yourself, what is the minimum amount of time that I can invest in my business? Invest and find yourself someone that's going to hold you accountable. I kid you not. I was sharing this on a call I did for the African team the other night. I started working with a coach recently, and man, are they keeping me accountable? And it's really raised my game in so many different areas. Do I get annoyed sometimes? Yes, I do get annoyed. You know why I get annoyed? Because they've raised my bar, and at the same time, they're holding me accountable to it. So sometimes I feel like, man, I didn't achieve enough. I didn't do enough. Okay, but you know what though? Because I've got someone that holds me accountable, next week, I'm also pushing to keep outdoing myself. And I'm seeing so much progress in so many different areas right now because I've got this accountability in place. Again, accountability is absolutely everything, guys. So just remember these 4 steps. I've recorded this webinar. My recommendation to you guys, listen to it, re-listen to it if you want to, and track what is your retention. Like literally go into your back office and find out how many people have joined your team and what period of time, how many of them are still active. This is not to make you feel bad if the numbers are not great. This is in order to make you aware where you're at right now and track your retention rate. Over the next 6 months, is your retention better, same, or worse? If you don't track your numbers, how are you going to know? Right? The numbers tell you everything you need to know in terms of your business. Now is the 14th of the month. We're halfway through the month, right? Are you calling your team and seeing whose payment has bounced? Who's maybe their card expired? Are you keeping them in the loop? Are you keeping them engaged? Are you pouring love on them? Okay. And these are things that are literally going to build this retention. One last thing, which is the X factor in terms of retention. The faster the growth of the team is, the stronger the retention, especially in a binary. The faster the growth of the team is, the stronger the retention, especially in a binary. Why is that? Because the magic of the binary is in the depth. The further deep you go in the binary, the more levels you're putting in, and the faster you're doing it, the more it creates this fear of loss of all the people above, because they're like, I don't want to let go of these. I see the business is moving with or without me. If they don't see a lot of growth in their team, then they feel like there's not much to miss out on. But if they're seeing growth happening with or without them, then they're realizing this train is moving and I better stay with it or I'm going to miss it. You guys with me? Okay, so that's it for this week, guys. If you haven't booked the escape, you're booked for the escape. Freedom Academy is literally 2 months from now. Okay, so ask yourself, where do you want to be celebrated at Freedom Academy? Who do you want to celebrate with from your team of Freedom Academy? Who do you want in your team to walk the stage? Who wants to walk the stage? Literally 2 weeks left until the month. Let's finish this month strong. Last month was one of our biggest months in a long time as a team. Let's finish April strong as well, because I'm telling you that we're going to go into Freedom Academy with some really, really crazy energy. And I believe that's really going to set things up for the second half of the year. Have an amazing week. Make it count. Sweden, looking forward to seeing you guys this week. The rest of you guys, see you at Freedom Academy.